Hello, this is Gina Burgess and Sarah Ton. Let me get this on Galley View. Okay, we are going to be talking about how to use Trello, and the point here is not necessarily to teach you everything because I am not an expert at it. But the point is to get you familiar enough with it that you can go in and learn a little bit more about it yourself. So I'm going to share my screen now. Oh, Sarah, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing really well, and I'm really excited because I want to learn how to use Trello, and I am a better learner with this kind of process rather than just reading about it online. So I know they provide things, and I've already joined Trello, and they've sent me emails, but because you said we can do a training thing, I thought, well, you know what? I can be the guinea pig, and instead of it being something like we both know what we're doing, I'm a genuine guinea pig because I'm learning. So I think that I will ask the sorts of questions that other people want to ask.
Well, that's
not reinventing the wheel every single time.
Okay. Well, I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to go to the training site for this is in Trello. I have logged in, and the word up here says boards. And I have clicked this, and you can see I am a member of all these different boards. Now, we are at the tutorial board right now when I click off of this.
Now, how did you create the boards?
Okay, well, we're going to get to that, okay?
Okay.
Now, I do want to tell you that you can star a board, make it important, and it will move it up to the top. So if you happen to be a member of the advisory team and you don't have to want to go through all the different boards that you might be a member of, you just star it and it'll bring it up to the top. And here's the star right here. Okay? Now then, we are going to, it says Mastering Trello Cards. This is Taco, the friendly little fella who's supposed to be the spokesperson for Trello. Okay, and we're going to master Trello cards. First, I think it would be a good idea to show you that there are things that you can do on the particular board that anybody can do. And this is like you can drag a card to the next one. You can put it wherever you like to put it.
Now, are these different boards across the top?
No, these are lists. They call them lists. Stuff to try. This is a list. Tried it. This is a list. Task to do. It's a list. Done. It's a list. Okay. Now then, we're going to each one of these little things in here is called a card, and they are full of information or a task that somebody asks you to do, or somebody else has to do, and what you are going to be looking for is you want to click on the thing, and that brings up the task. So what it's going to have on the inside of it is all these little wonderful little things that are full of information. Now the members that are, oh, I forgot to tell you. Let me do this because this is important. Okay, if you'll notice there's a word here, private. That means only you can see it, or whoever you happen to invite to it can see it, and that is, it's not public. If you click on this, you can make it a team thing, or you can make it public to anybody that wants to see it, anyone in the link.
How do you add somebody to the board?
Okay, we'll get to that too, all right? Because this is all in, and I would love to just answer your question right away, but the thing is that this is kind of in an order that here, okay, you've got, on this thing, you have a little list over here, and it says add members. Then you can put people in here. All you have to do is type their name. So I'm going to type Sarah. Okay, no results came up. So this means that Sarah is not included because Sarah is not added to this particular board. Okay? So, because this is private. So it doesn't go out. I'd have to change this to team over here, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to confuse people. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, we can click edit to change descriptions or change anything in here that we want to. We can add a comment this way, but it is better to add a comment to something at the bottom where it says add comment. We can type a comment in here, and I can say at Sarah, great job, and send. All right, now you probably won't get that because you are not on this particular board, but at least and here it shows down here, activity. Sarah, this is a great job. Okay, I can't, wait, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, use the buttons on the right to add pictures, labels, and checklists, due dates, and what have you. Now then, when you have a due date over here on the card, I'm going to get out of this for just a second. When you have a due date over here on the card, you can change that due date by clicking on it, and a little calendar will pop up, and you can say, okay, we need to move this due date because we're not quite ready. We're going to move it to Monday the 6th. And then that changes it here, and it changes it over here. Okay, now it will also tell you on the card down at the bottom where it says activity, it will tell you that Gina changed the due date of this card to February 6th at 12 p.m. a few seconds ago or whatever. So you're talking about having an activity list so you can go in and you can see who said what or who changed what. So it's an organizational tool that helps each team member to know what's going on from each team member. So maybe just keeping it private might not be a great idea, but maybe you can get the gist of this. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think what would really be really super helpful for starting is Trello is an organizational tool. But
yes.
How do you go from it joining to creating what you've got, which is a series of boards?
Okay, well, we want to understand this, and I do get your point. Okay, so let me...
There's sort of micro and macro, right?
Okay,
there's
yes.
And the little picture.
Yes.
So you're showing me the little picture, which you have to do both pictures. So if I could have an overview of the big picture, that would help too.
Okay. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to create our first board. All right. There is, when you go onto your tutorial, there is a video that you can click on and read. Okay, or it follow, so it'll tell you, and it starts automatically, so it goes through the whole thing and it talks to you and tells you everything that you need to do. All right. Okay. However, find boards by name, or down here at the bottom of this list is create a new board.
So your starting point, no matter what, is boards.
Boards. Okay. So we will click on this and create a new board. And so we're going to have one named Training with Sarah. Okay, team would be, okay, what I'd have to do is I'd have to invite you to this, and it will be private. So we're going to change that to a team. Oh, I can't do it because I'm in the training mode. So it's not going to let me do that. Okay. But it will let me create a new board. So now we've flipped over to the new board. It automatically brings you over there. You can change the background. You can do all of these different things. It's wonderful. These are all fancy things that you don't necessarily have to have in order to keep your whole list organized.
Now, under your picture on the right, it says add member.
Yes. And I can search for a person in Trello by name or email address, or enter an email address to invite someone new. So you have to add, really and truly, you have to add the email address. This is what, Sarah.Ton at...
No, I just popped up.
Oh, there you did. Okay.
Back up the...
What happened to you? Where'd you go?
Leave the dot out, maybe. I'm not there. Maybe
Okay.
back up to Sarah. There I am. Down, scroll down.
There you are.
Brilliant. There I am.
Thank you. Okay, now then. So now Sarah and I gotta move you. So now we have Sarah and Gina as members. So you type in the email when you add a member. Now, do we want to change the background? No, I kind of like that. Do you like that background?
Okay. Well, it's not distracting.
That's true. It's not distracting.
But it's not distracting. So
okay. So what we add here is training video, and we save that. Okay, so that's the name of the card. You can take this and move it over to someplace else. Oh wait, you have to create this to do.
And what's a list?
Okay, to do list. Okay, the list, we're going to go back to the training tutorial board. Okay, the list is what is inside this card. So you have a list of things to do. You can click edit to edit a card's description. Use the buttons on the right to add pictures, labels, checklists, and more. The attached picture is Taco. So this is your list of things that to do in your tutorial. You can add attachments to your list, to the card. You name this stuff to try. This is a list, okay? So you can add attachments, and they're very, very easy to add. You go over here to attachment. You click on attachment. You want to take it from your computer or from Dropbox or from any place, like, isn't that convenient?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can either add a link or just click this and then click the file, and it will automatically attach it for you. Okay.
And it's Microsoft based, I see, because it offers Dropbox and it's Microsoft based.
Google Drive, right.
I didn't see Google Drive.
Yeah, it was Google. There's OneDrive.
Oh, there is Google Drive. Okay, yeah.
And I don't know about Box. I don't know what that is. Okay. Now then, you add a due date, and okay, say you want to make a checklist. So let's do this, okay? Let's get out of here. Tried it. Add a card. Go to this little thing over here, which will give it your options.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? I told you that I didn't know this very well, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Create your first board, power up, pro tips. How do you add the, okay, here we go.
Oh, that's good. The labels, the color labels and what they mean. And yeah, that's good.
It's very, right.
Like if there's a label that's urgent, you know, the folks in the group, we got to look at it and figure out what the issue is. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's really useful.
So and you can name it anything. Let's click on labels. You can change this to in progress, okay? So you can click on that particular label and change it to, click on the edit button and change it to in progress. So it's changed to in progress. And you can use these other colors for whatever you want to use it for. And you can create a new label with a new color if you want to. Okay. Main thing is making sure when you tried it, when you add a card, this card that told me to tell Taco that he was a good boy, so that's what I did. But we can go in here and we can say, Sarah, need some idea. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. You always have to put the @ sign. In case you have, like, 5 or 10 or whoever members, but you just want this to go to Sarah because Sarah is the one that's going to be handling this. Need date for training video. Okay, then you add. Okay, Sarah will get an email from Trello that says this is to her, this is what's happened, and then you can go in and edit it if you want to, and then Sarah can come in and she can say working on it or whatever. Or you can just put whatever note you want, and you can say at Gina or at Tom or at Tammy, just to make it specific, or you can say at everybody, or you don't use the word everybody, but you can
all.
Yeah, let's see, members. And what you can do is add the different members. I don't know why Sarah's not there. Oh, because you were at the other board. It was the other board that we added you to. So these little icons will come on. So it's just a click. You don't have to do at Sarah. You can do at Taco, at Gina, at whoever. You don't have to do that. You can just click on the members and click on all whoever you want it to go to. Okay. Now then, you want to make a list, or you want to go to a list, has to do. Now, I know you didn't get that, so let me see if I can try it again. Okay. Now then, we're going to move it back over here. You can edit. When you click on the card, all the different things will come up. Did you get that? Let's try it one more time. We've got a card here.
Mm-hmm.
We click on the card, and all the different things come up. So you can add a checklist. So you don't want to copy items from anywhere. You just want to add a checklist. So you can add that checklist, and then add an item pops up over here, and we can say, check on time difference, add. Then we can say, what's something else that we can say here? Email all members. Okay, well that's good. All right. So now you've got a checklist here that you've got things for people to do. So what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll say, okay, look, this is Taco and Gina. They've got to do this card. They've got this thing that they've got to do. So they're going to click on it and say, okay, well, I need to check on the time difference and email all members. So I would come in and see what I had to do, and then I would come in and I could either add a card and say time difference is 6 hours. Okay. Or I could click on the card and add a comment, which is a more organized way of handling stuff than adding card after card after card. Does that make sense? Time difference is 6 hours. What was the other one I said? Okay, email is sent. Okay, that tells everybody.
In the overall, you've got boards, and and on the boards you've got cards.
Yes.
And on the cards you can or send attachments or any variety of. If you click on card again, I can read off what you can.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. So you can add members, labels, checklist, due date, attachment. So
right.
you go from the board. You've got each board has a series of cards, and on each card you can have instructions or lists or give due dates and so forth.
Right.
Or comment.
Right.
I suppose the easiest way of communicating generally is adding a comment rather than starting a new card.
Well, Or if you have an issue that needs to be solved, then everybody needs to see it right away. See, the thing is that to see a comment, you'd have to click on the card. But if there's a problem, you can add a card and say, I don't know, client, or let's see, what was it, vendors can't, because this happens all the time, meet on Monday. Training needs to be moved to a different day. Okay, so now that's something that everybody is aware of now. So people can come in and comment. Sarah and Don and everybody can meet on Tuesday, but Kate and somebody else can't meet on Tuesday. So that means that, okay, maybe we have to have have 2 meetings so that everybody can click together, which we've had to do before. So they can do that in the comment section, or, what you would do really to make it more organized. You say, what day can you meet? And people can come in and say, and then you can see, everybody can see everybody's answer in the comments, and they can say, oh, okay, I see there's more people that can meet on Tuesday, but how about Wednesday? Can everybody meet on Wednesday? It's a organizational tool where everybody is communicating at the same time on the same format in the same forum, so that you don't have a lot of drag time. Does that make sense?
So it's a personal organization tool. It's a team organizational tool. Right. It's an organizational tool.
Yes. Inter-office memos, only much quicker and faster and more organized. Because you will be commenting on the one single thing that is concerning you, rather than getting something from, the president that only 2 other people need to worry with.
Yep. Brilliant.
Very, very, very. Okay. Now here is another thing that is very important to know, is that when you hit subscribe, this helps. You will see, you actually will see a, there is a little, what will appear up here is the word subscribed. It doesn't, because this is the training board. But what you'll see is up here is subscribed. So when you get an email, because it will notify you by email that you've got a message, that this is what has happened on Trello.
You subscribe, I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay.
So so you're invited. So who activates the subscription? You do?
You do.
As the organizer, or?
No.
Somebody?
The person who is invited to the board, okay, so I'm there, I accept this, and I'm going to be in this organizational board, so I need to hit subscribe so that I am
a part of it.
Of everything. So then what happens is, when you get an email, when Sarah gets an email saying need a date for training, it's going to notify you through your email address that you have something has happened here on Trello, and that it says, you're going to get the message. It says, Sarah, need date for training video. You can hit reply. It says on your email, it says do not reply, but that's, if you subscribe, you don't have to worry about that. Just hit reply, and it will come, and type in your reply, and it will come back. Now remember,
so you send by email, but you automatically, it goes on to Trello.
Onto Trello, and makes a comment on Trello. Okay, replies to that particular thing. Now just remember, when you hit reply, whatever signature you have at the bottom of your email, that's going to transfer as well. But that's okay. Nobody really, that's not a big deal. But just remember that. So if you have something you don't want anybody to see,
right,
take it off.
Yes. Okay, like a baby picture or something.
Yes.
yourself as a naked baby in the bathtub.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, let me just get clarity on the subscribe. Let's say that you are the leader, the team leader.
Uh-huh.
does the team leader offer subscription to people and then members agree? Or how else do they see the board to know to subscribe?
Okay.
So who initiates the subscription process, the leader or the team member?
No, the initiation comes from Trello itself. Okay. Remember how when you were invited to the advisory teams thing, okay, and all you had to do was accept, and then you went and created your Trello account and all that. You don't really have to create a Trello account, but it's good to do that because then you have access to the tutorial and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now then when you are invited to a board, let's go to the advisory board real quick. Okay. Advisory team. Okay. This is the initial team item. So what we can do is we can click on this particular thing. And if you have other members that you want to add, you can click on that. Subscribe. Okay, here it is down here. I'm not subscribed to it, but I need to be. So I clicked subscribe. Now then, go back down here. And you should see, nope, I don't see subscribe. There, no, it's not there. Well, I don't understand why that happened.
Okay, if you weren't subscribed, how could you go to the board? The advisory team board, if you
because I am a member.
Subscribe means you'll get it through email.
Okay, here's the deal. Advisory team has members. Okay, we have. So when you're invited to the advisory team, you are invited as a member. So you have access to the board when you accept that membership. You're a member. So you can go to that board and you can do whatever you need to do and write in comments or whatever else you need to do. Add a list. You have complete control to do everything. The only thing that you cannot do is archive a list.
Okay.
It says archive this list, but that's because I put that list there.
You're an administrator, yeah.
Right.
Now, so subscribe means not to the list, but means to receive emails.
Correct.
From the board.
No, it means that you can actually, subscribe means you can actually reply in email.
Okay.
Okay. You will get, when it says at the bottom, right, other writer communities, here's something that we can do is we can, let's see here. You can add a card. We can go down here and we can click on members. And I can click on each one of these members and tell them they'd be all, I'm not going to do it because I don't want them to get an email because this is just training. But we can, all of their little pictures and everything that will pop up down here along the bottom of the thing. And then I can type in and say, please check on other communities and report, make a comment here on what's the difference between them and us. And we'll go from there as far as what we plan on doing with that or something like that.
Yep.
Whatever it would be pertinent to that.
Yes.
Then add. And as soon as I add, each one of those members will get an email. But if they're not subscribed, they won't be able to email back their comment.
Right. So then they go back to the card and go to subscribe. So then they can, so a subscription is per card, not for Trello.
No.
Per board.
Per board.
Yeah.
Per board. Not necessarily for Trello. Because Trello has this wonderful thing that is, as long as you're a member of a board, you're going to get an email that says, whatever has happened on that board. And you can, I don't think you can filter it to where you only get one email per day or something like that. I don't think you can do that. So that's why you have to be careful about what you add on the board and how many cards and stuff like that.
Make it worth person's attention. Yeah.
Right.
Now, is there an authors community board then? So when I'm receiving emails daily about author community posts, that post has been put on a board, and because I'm a member, that's why I get the email. Is that right?
You get the email because you are a member of Authors Community, not because you are, and that is the discernproducts.com/authors community address, which is our forum, which is where members can go and discuss different things. This is just an organizational tool, not for discussion necessarily, but to handle problems that are that we face or that we're looking at, or to brainstorm, or different things like that.
It could be useful to have an authors community Trello board for people that are in the advisory committee.
Yeah, that's what this is for. That's what that is. And you're a member of that.
Yeah.
And it's team visible. If I clicked on it and made it private, well, it would be private just to me.
Which would be kind of useless since it's a team.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And if it's public, then the conversation would have to be revised for public view.
Exactly.
So this way, I gotcha.
Okay. Now, one other thing is that when you click on, when you get an email in your email and you get a notification that somebody has commented or done something or moved a card to the done list or whatever, then you click on the link that it sends you and it'll take you right to that card. How convenient.
So an email, if you subscribe, you can reply.
Yes.
Going to Trello. And if you receive an email, you can
click on the link
and it will take you to the board.
Right to the board, right to the card that's got your name on it, that you're being notified about. Now, if other people have replied, like you've got, Tom has said something about what we need to do with email blasts, and then Tammy comes back and says, okay, I've got this designed, and Gina, I need you to add the introduction to it, and then that's happened all within a couple of minutes. You'll just get, praise the Lord, you'll just get one email that says this is what's happened, and you click on that because it's just one list, the email blast that's being talked on. Now, if you have, like we have all these other different boards that we're trying to keep organized, staff meetings and LinkedIn. Okay, so if something happens on LinkedIn and something happens in staff meeting, then I'll get 2 emails because it's 2 different boards.
Yes.
Okay. Now then, we have created our first board. We have discovered everything that happens that we can do with a card. When we click on it, we can add members, labels, do a checklist, make a due date, or do an attachment. We can move the card. We can copy the card and add it to a different board. But the advisory team doesn't have to do that because we only have one board for the advisory team right now. We'll go over that if we need to. Now then, the only people who can archive something is the person that has created that board. Now, if you create a board, Sarah, and you invite the whole advisory team because you want to talk about one specific thing, which is, say, we want to talk about training, which we might do this at a later date. So Sarah's done this. So Sarah's the administrator of that board, and she's invited everybody, and she's talking about it. So Sarah's the only one that can archive a card or a list or whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, on the same card, you can add another checklist. You can add labels. We talked briefly about labels, and those are really self-explanatory. You can click on them and play with them all you want to. So here, I added another list up here when it says add another checklist using the checklist button above. So I added a checklist. So this is what I added. To write the newsletter, I need to gather blog posts and find out how to add MailChimp and discuss how to work with Tom's email blast. So that, and actually those were all taken care of. So I'm checking those off. Now, when it comes up to green, that means like it's 100% done. So everybody that looks at that, they'll see that those items are taken care of and they don't have to worry about them. Okay, so now we've got activity has just now come up a few seconds ago that I completed that whole entire list. And I feel good about that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now down here, it tells everything that Gina has done. She set the card to be due February the 2nd, and actually we had to change the date to February 6th, which we were told about. Oh, and here, see, I say good, and this is all at the bottom of my email, so it all showed up. Okay, then I added an attachment, and attachments will show up down here at the bottom of the list. So if somebody adds an attachment, this is a PDF that describes how Trello works, and you add that. So now anybody who is a member of this board can click on this and get that attachment and download it. Download or print. And then to get out of that, you just click a little X box up here.
So we could use this and have communication with another individual that hires us, for example, and we could have them join Trello, or you can even communicate with them on email. You've got it on your Trello, even if they don't join. So that, again, it's an organizational tool for your project with that person. Exactly.
And what makes this so fabulous, I mean, and that is great for one-on-one, but when you've got, say you're taking care of 5 different people's work at the same time, and you've got to keep it organized. So you can have 5 different lists up here, and each one of them is named by the person that you're talking to. And so you can keep it all organized with due dates and everything.
Right. So you could have a board that is, what would you call it? Well, 1 card per job, and a board for jobs, for freelance work.
Right. Let's say freelance work up here, or, the name of your company.
Yeah.
And how do you pronounce yours?
Laura's Press.
Laura.
Now, what I've realized, well, this is subject to another conversation, but Laura's Press is my imprint. And so I'm moving my business name from Laura's Press to Sarah Tongue Words and Voices.
I love that. That's great. Okay. So we know how to add a card. It's at the bottom of each one. Okay. We add a card when it's when it's the same subject, but it might be a little bit different task to do, because each one of these cards, we can add a checklist of things to do, or we can write a comment. And comments are better on the card when it's dealing with that specific task or that specific checklist of things to do. Comments are better because they keep them all organized, and you don't have to worry about something getting lost or something accidentally being moved, because it's easy to move a card. I mean, it's really easy. And I have done this before and had to go back and say, what did I do? And then I have to change it and move it back. Okay. Brilliant. So does that make sense?
That is a brilliant overview, and lots of little details as well. One question: what is Power Ups, integrations, APIs?
Okay, those come with, there's a little tutorial here. And when you pay for Trello, which this is the freebie, so when you pay for Trello, you can go and you can integrate your your Trello with Twitter or with different programs over here,
Right.
HubSpot, MailChimp, that sort of thing. So,
I understand.
and it's probably extraordinarily powerful for a corporation that has tons of different kinds of communication problems and communication avenues.
Well, presumably,
us,
for example, with MailChimp, if you can integrate, then all your contacts can be integrated.
right.
Yeah, so that would be great. Okay.
Exactly. But for us, we don't need it right now. We might go to that later, but we don't really need it right now.
Well, that's just fantastic. That's so helpful. And what I would say is, as a person that's just learned, basically what Trello is an organizational system that is free, that allows a person to organize their private business and also within a team.
Exactly.
And also within an organization. And every board and has a series of cards, and the series of cards has lists and tasks and labels accessible.
Right.
So it's a way of structuring. Imagine you've got a great big filing drawer for clients and another big filing drawer for your own personal use and another big filing drawer for whatever. The boards are filing drawers.
Right.
The cards are files.
Right, exactly. And it's much easier to do this because you don't have to worry about, now, where did I put that email? Where did I put that file? You've got it all right there in one place that you can get to really quickly. If you remember the name of the card or if you remember the name of the list. So that's why you want to be careful what you name your list so that you'll know what's in there. And making something a little too generic will also make it so you can have as many of those lists across as you want. You can add as many cards as you want. So it's not that big a deal as far as that goes. But once you name your list up here, stuff to try, this is a list, or whatever. If you just put to do and you've got 5 different clients, then you might want to have a to do for so-and-so, a to do for so-and-so. That way.
So you have client A to do, client B to do, and so on.
Exactly. So that you don't have to go through this really long list of cards to find out if you really did that for Sarah or if Gina is still waiting for her proof.
And then the archive works when that job is finished, you archive it.
Exactly.
But you can't retrieve it if that client hires you again.
Well, actually, yes, you can go into archives and you can get that, but that's your own, things that you're the administrator of. You can go into archives and either restore or delete permanently. So, and sometimes if you've misfiled something, you can move that to a different board. And I forgot to go over that, didn't I? Oops. I'm sorry. Really quickly. Well, anyway, we can do that at another day because we're not really going to need that for the advisory team right now.
Gina, that's excellent.
Okay. Well, I hope this helps. And thank you so much, Sarah, for taking the time to do this with me because I really and truly think this will help everyone if they take the time to go all the way through it. And if not, you've got your tutorials. If you'd rather do it yourself, then you can do that.
Excellent.
Sorry, that's my mom's phone ringing. It was just a nice little note to end this on.
It's very musical.
Around the boards.